Dyson does make, ooh, just touch the hot barrel. Hi, I'm Jenny Mai, Mashable's tech reporter, and this is Beauty Hacked, where we're digging into the tech and science that makes beauty innovation exciting. Today, we get to play around with the Dyson Airwrap. I'm sure you've heard of it before, but in case you don't know what it is, this is a hairstyling device that is supposed to take your hair from soaking wet all the way to dry and styled in one device, all without extreme heat. So none of the 450 degrees that you're getting with some like curling irons or straightening irons or whatever you're using. How does it all work? Is it actually worth it? We're gonna figure it out. Let's get into the actual attachments that it comes with, which is obviously the most exciting part. This is what Dyson calls the pre-styling dryer. It is the attachment that you slip on, and before you do anything to curl or straighten or volumize your hair, this is gonna get your hair from soaking wet out of the shower to just damp so that the other attachments can actually do their thing. And it's very lightweight when you use it. It's like way lighter than a normal hairdryer in my opinion, and it's pretty cute. I think it's very unique looking, obviously. It doesn't look like a normal hairdryer in any way. This is the smoothing brushes. This is the firm bristled brush, and this is the soft bristled brush. This is gentle on your scalp, and this is supposed to be even straighter and smoother and less flyaways. So super interesting because they look very similar to me, but slightly different results. We'll see. This is the round volumizing brush. If you've ever gotten your hair blown out at a salon, this is definitely the type of brush that stylists will use there. So it should smooth out your hair and give you that like volumized, blowout, fresh out of the salon look. It's very bristly. And probably the stars of the show are the curling attachments. So you get a 1.6 inch curl and a 1.2 inch curl barrel. So there's 4 total, but they're all gonna do essentially the same thing. These give you a smaller curl, a tighter curl, and these will give you looser, more wavy curls. There are handy little arrows on each of the barrels that tell you which way the air is going to be pulling your hair. So if I want my hair to curl outwards, I have to make sure that the arrow is pointing outwards. If you want it to go in, then you point it in, but you obviously have to match them up on left and right, depending on what style you're going for. So what's the deal with this thing? How does it actually work? The Airwrap relies on air, not extreme heat, to style your hair, and that subtle distinction is the crux of what makes it so compelling. It works thanks to something called the Coanda effect, which refers to the tendency of a fast-moving jet of air traveling across a surface to attach to that surface. The principle has all sorts of applications, particularly with aircraft, but the folks at Dyson saw a challenge. Could they use the same phenomenon on a hairstyling tool?
We wanted something that was powerful, but that was also small and light, and that was a challenge on its own. So V9 motor spins at 110,000 revolutions per minute, which is very, very fast. And because of that, we are able to create a big amount of pressure. So on supersonic, that translates into a powerful hair drying experience. On Airwrap, it's a little bit different because it allows us to make different things. So depending on the attachment is what we do. So thanks to V9, on the barrels specifically, we are able to create, or to not to create, but to harness an aerodynamic effect, which is called the Coanda effect. It's a phenomenon where you have a big, fast control jet of air attaching to a round surface. So on the barrel specifically, what we have is we have little tiny exits, and because the air coming from the pressure coming from V9 motor is so high, that air comes out really fast, and instead of just going like that, it attaches to the surface, and that's what creates a vortex effect, which then in time allows the hair, once you get it closer, to create that curl.
This thing works wonders, but it costs a whopping $549.99. So let's put it to the test and see if it's actually worth it. We're gonna go high heat, high fan speed, rough dry. What the? This is the finish. finished look using the volumizing brush attachment. It took a dang long time. It took 43 minutes to get this hairstyle done. So, I tried out the Dyson Airwrap Complete for a whole week, but I'm also curious how it directly compares to regular old hairstyling tools. I'm gonna style one side of my hair with the Dyson Airwrap and one side of my hair with a regular hairdryer, a regular curler, and the Revlon One Step. Let's see how it compares. Okay, to actually try it out, gotta wet my hair. So, time to spray some pieces. I'm gonna try and get the roots wet too, because that's what I noticed I needed to do, and my bangs. So to get it just regular dry, we're going to use the pre-styling dryer attachment. And to make sure that it's not going anywhere, I like to give it a little twist. And we're ready to go. I think I'm gonna put it on a high fan speed and maybe medium heat to just like reduce the heat level here. Here we go. Okay, I think that's sufficiently dry. The other attachments are honestly gonna keep drying my hair, so let me get the roots one more time and then we're gonna be good. I think that's great. So let's do the other side with a regular hairdryer. This is really not my best look, but hopefully it'll be my best look by the end of it. Wet, as you can see. And I'm gonna pull out just my regular hairdryer. Here she is. Nothing special, but she usually gets the job done. I think the biggest difference is gonna be time. I feel like this usually takes more time than that just did. That took like, what, a minute to actually dry my hair to this level? So let's see. It's on warm, and I'm gonna put it on high fan speed. Okay, I think that's actually pretty similarly dry. I don't know if you can tell, but I think it honestly looks different at this stage because with the Dyson, I'm like rough drying it. I'm just using it to get dry and then I'm gonna style it with a different attachment. And because of the shape of a normal hair dryer, like I naturally point it down and it makes my hair almost a little bit smoother and straighter from the get-go. The one thing that I really, really love about the Dyson is it's super duper light. Like this is so easy to move around and like this head is so small, but it still feels really, really powerful. Whereas this, it feels heavier to me and it's clunkier and you have to be more aware of where you're pointing the direction of the nozzle. I'm used to using it because I've been using it my entire life, but this one I can kind of just go crazy, you know? It doesn't really matter where you're pointing it, you're just getting a rough dry and it's super light to hold. So far, I think I do like the Dyson better just for like how easy it is and how fast it feels and how light it is, but the regular dryer gets the job done and it is way cheaper, obviously. We're going to use the volumizing brush attachment. This should smooth out my hair and give it some volume, and we'll be directly comparing this attachment to the Revlon One Step, which everyone loves to claim is a cheap alternative for the Dyson. Let's see how it actually performs side by side. To take it off, super easy. You just pull down on the unlock button right here, pull it off. So easy. And then when you're putting it on, you don't even have to do anything. You just kind of have to like click it into place. Let's put it on high fan speed and high heat, just because I feel like high heat is the best for styling purposes. I think we're done with this side. It looks pretty nice. As I was doing it, I realized that I probably should have brushed my hair through just to get rid of the knots. That's not really the Dyson's fault. That was my fault. I feel like I wanted a little more volume at my bangs, and because of how small this barrel is, it's a little bit more difficult to get that volume here. But it kind of made this nice little curl, which I wasn't really attempting to do, and it went pretty fast. And I don't feel like I'm sweating from the heat that was coming out of it. It was definitely warm. I had it on the highest heat setting, but I'm not sweating yet. Let's do this side with the Revlon One Step. Here it is. This obviously is similar vibes. It's even similar color scheme, but this brush is wider and more of like an oval shape, and it has the same heat settings, cool, low, high. I'm gonna put it on high heat since that's what I do with the Dyson. Okay, we're done. Here's the comparison, to be honest, I think I got more volume with the Revlon One Step. I do have a lot more practice with the One Step. I've had it for a year, but I think because of the oval shape of the One Step, you kind of naturally get more volume at the roots and kind of at the ends. It is hotter though. It's definitely hotter on its highest heat in comparison to the Dyson. So heat damage could be more on the Revlon, but in terms of how it feels pretty similar. This one just has more volume in my opinion, and it's way cheaper. And we are going to do the big test. We're going to curl both sides. So Dyson, since we're only doing one side, we are only gonna use one of the barrels for that direction. So since we're doing the left side with the Dyson, we'll use this one where the arrows are pointing out because that's how I like to curl my hair. I'm gonna put some heat protectant on my hair because I kind of forgot to do that. It's a little damp again with heat protectant. We're going to pop this off, pop on the correct curler. This is the 1.6 inch because I like bigger curls. I'm gonna put it on high heat and high fan speed again because that is actually what Dyson recommends for curling specifically. So let's do it. There we go. Aha! Oh, look at that curl, people. I love the reveal. So smooth, so light and bouncy. That's what it looks like. If you notice though, I can only curl up to a certain point on my hair because only this much of my hair will wrap around the barrel. Dyson does make, ooh, just touch that barrel, but I didn't burn myself. So Dyson does make more barrels for even longer hair. So if you want the curl to go higher up your hair shaft, or you have even longer hair and you really want it to just go up a little bit higher, I would absolutely recommend getting the longer barrel. But this works for me as of now because I don't really like my curl to go up that high. And now I'm gonna do this side with my good old trusty curling wand that I've had since 7th grade, so don't judge the state that she's in. So this is my crusty curling iron from 7th grade. We love her. She's been through a lot. I'm currently heating it up to 390 degrees. It goes up to 410, I believe, but I don't like to go to the max because 410 feels like it would definitely fry my hair off. That is something that you don't have to deal with the Dyson is you don't have to wait for it to heat up. Like this is not even really close to heating up yet. It's gonna take a couple minutes. It's at 111 degrees. Great. Somehow it's going down. It's at 96. It just jumped from like 79 degrees to 375 degrees. So I don't trust the reading on this thing at all. Oh, now it's green. So apparently we're ready. We're at 390 degrees. So much quieter. There it is. I can like smell my hair though. I probably am frying my hair every time I do this, but you know, I still have hair. Okay, and we're done. Wow, they look very different. I'm gonna turn this off so I don't accidentally burn myself. This is the difference. As you can see, very different styles, honestly. I got a much tighter curl with my curling iron. I don't know the exact diameter on this, but it looks pretty comparable to me. It might be like, this is 1.6, maybe this is like a 1.4 if anything, but pretty close. But you could blame the tighter curl on perhaps different sizes. But I also feel like when I'm using a regular curling iron, I can get it way higher up on my hair shaft because I control where I put my hair, and then I can also just move it down and keep going. Whereas with the Dyson, it's only gonna suck it up to a certain point. So I could only get curls on this portion of my hair. So as you can see, this side of my hair is literally longer than this side, and my curls, I chose for them to come up all the way to here, whereas these curls, except for this front piece, which is actually shorter, only start like right here. If you only like end curls, the Dyson does it pretty good, but if you want it to be up higher, I think I would use my curling iron. My hair does feel like physically different though. As I said, this side is like light and bouncy. This side is not crispy, but the pieces are kind of like sticking together. It's not the worst feeling in the world, and honestly not something I probably would have noticed if I didn't have a direct comparison to the Dyson, but it feels different. It feels like it could potentially get way more damaged even with the heat protectant in. So now that I've tested out the Dyson Airwrap for a whole week and we've done direct comparisons with other normal hairstyling devices, I obviously have some thoughts. So let's dig into it. Overall, let's talk about how effective this entire thing was. Honestly, the effectiveness varies a lot from each attachment and hugely depends on your actual hair type. For me, I found the most effective attachment to be the curling barrels. I was partial to the bigger curling barrels, but I would imagine that the smaller curling barrels would be similarly effective, just achieve different looks. They made the curl, you know? Like they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and it took a second to figure out what to do with it because it was like a very new way of curling my hair. But once I figured it out, it was super effective. It curled my hair in a very pretty way and my hair felt really, really healthy using it. In terms of least effective, I actually think for me, for my specific hair type, it'd be both the firm brush and the soft bristled brush. These are obviously meant to straighten your hair. For me, for my own personal preference, I like my straight hair to be a little bit more smooth and sleek, and these don't really do that for me. The other middle of the road in effectiveness was the volumizing brush. I think this does what it's supposed to do. It gives you volume, it gives you that blowout vibe, but to me, it's not the most special attachment in this whole shindig. It was also very similar to me with the Revlon One Step, which we directly compared it to. Special shout out to, honestly, maybe the most boring attachment, but a very effective one, the rough drying attachment. This is just like obviously the most powerful hair dryer I've ever used, and it was like super duper light. So this is also very effective. Just not as cool of a result as the curling barrel. So on the effectiveness scale, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. It does its job, it just takes a little bit of time and practice. Okay, now let's talk about how simple it is to actually use this thing, how easy it is for you to buy this device and actually be good at using it. I don't want anyone out there to buy the Dyson Airwrap and think that it's going to magically give you the hair of your dreams. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes a little bit of skill, honestly, but that can be cultivated over time if you aren't naturally good at doing your hair. On the simplicity scale, I'll give it a 3 out of 5, to be fair. Lots of things to learn, people. Lots of things to get used to, and it's not really like anything else that you probably already have. Okay, the thing that everyone is thinking about, even if you don't want to admit you're thinking about it. How cost effective is this thing? If you have a curler, a hair dryer, a straightener, a volumizing brush, all of these things already, you might not be amazed by everything the Dyson Airwrap has to offer because you literally already own those things. The other factor to think about is the Dyson Airwrap is supposed to make your hair a lot healthier. So, how much does your hair health factor into whether it's worth it? Add that all together, all the different attachments, all the different devices that you're replacing, the honestly very cool tech of the Kwanda effect, and the hair health aspect. I can't believe I'm saying this, but on the cost effectiveness scale, I think I'm giving the Dyson Airwrap a 5 out of 5. I think it's worth it. 5 out of 5, even though you have to drop over $500 to get your hands on it. I know, it hurts. It hurts me too. So I don't say that lightly. Okay, and lastly, let's talk about the coolness factor. How cool did I feel while using the Dyson Airwrap? Yeah, I felt cool as This is so many different things, and obviously it's gone viral a bajillion times over. Every time I used the Dyson Airwrap, I felt like a beauty influencer on TikTok. And the Kwanda effect is literally amazing. I think I'm kind of a Kwanda effect stan. For more tech, entertainment, social good, culture, and of course, beauty tech coverage, make sure you subscribe to our channel.